Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. This is a reaction to the Great Culture Shift. Now, I was supposed to do this reaction, I think before New Year's. That was what I planned initially, and then I got really sick. And then I've been really busy with university. So it's only come about now, but I have been wanting to do this reaction for a long time. And I think it's going to just go into like the culture within like, I'm going to assume like throughout the world, but mainly in America. And like how sort of, I guess, things have sort of changed in terms of, I guess, even just like, it's probably going to go into like political stuff, but also like pop culture and different things around that. But we're going to jump into this and learn as we go along. But that's pretty much it. Hopefully you're doing well. And also the camera, I've had to change it today because my other camera's not working. And yeah, the angle's a bit different. So I might find myself looking at the camera that I usually look at because it is behind it. But yeah, it's just about getting used to this camera because it is in a different location. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you're doing well. Said that already. And yeah, let's jump into this reaction. It's quite a long one, so we're going to jump straight into this and see exactly what this video has to go into.
Things are changing. If you teleported someone from 10 years ago to today, their first impression would be that not much has changed. Phones got bigger, prices went higher, and GTA 6 still hasn't come out yet. But us who have actually lived through that period though, we know the truth. We know nothing is the same. A couple years ago, hip-hop was the biggest genre in the world. Now it's dead.
It's dying,
Just yesterday, everyone was holding their tongue and staying PC. Now, nobody cares. Today I want to answer the question on everyone's mind. What the fuck happened? These are the 5 stages of a culture shift.
Here we go. This should be fascinating.
Stage 1. Beginning.
Welcome to the year 2014. We're here at the tail end of Obama's presidency. V-necks are cool, Instagram filters and Vine videos are at their peak.
Nuts. Got him.
My name is Jeff.
Everyone is doing the ice bucket challenge, and Happy by Pharrell Williams
This was in 2014.
is the biggest song on the planet. The general vibe is, well, kinda joyful. Yeah, you guys remember that? I mean, if Happy dropped today, it would flop diabolically, become a TikTok meme, and get categorized as coworker music all within a 48-hour window. Things wouldn't stay like this for long, though, as behind all the corny enthusiasm in the pop sphere, change was coming.
In the most unexpected form.
Hip-hop had at one point been a massively successful and influential genre. By the time 2014 rolled around, though, it seemed like those days were long gone, and that the once giant cultural force was on its last legs. Some may have disagreed, but the charts certainly seem to point in that direction, as 2014 statistically marked the lowest presence the genre had had on there in a long time. Mainstream hip-hop was dead, and the genre needed a spark, a wave that would pull it back up.
I'll be real though, I think music as a whole is pretty ass now. Not just hip hop. I mean, it's obviously 10 years back, but now it's just all like pop music. Just, it all sounds so similar.
The center of everyone's attention. In another corner of society, though, that was already happening.
There is growing outrage tonight after an unarmed African-American teenager was shot and killed by police in the St. Louis suburb of Ferguson, Missouri.
Leading up to 2015, several disconnected examples of inequality had managed to cross over from online virality to nationwide outrage.
They're mad. I'm mad. We should all be mad, man. We should all be angry because of what's going on right now.
We are asking for games to be more inclusive. We're asking for games to acknowledge that we exist and that we love games.
With the rise of social media, there was a growing feeling that everyday people now had the power to make an actual change. Nobody really knew at the time, but this was only the beginning of something much greater. In stage 1, the seed is planted, a foundational idea is shared amongst the collective. The vibes are in the air, okay? And now it's up for people to grab them and make them into something real. Most movements stop here, but every so often, they move into
Stage 2. Rise.
Seeing the stale atmosphere hip-hop's veterans had left behind, the new generation decided to try something different.
Mumble rap.
Hold up, Thug wanna play some new shit.
This is when I was like, what, 14, 15. So this is like my prime sort of age for like seeing all this sort of music and listening to all of it. This is like my growing up sort of era. This music.
You could hear their music online, mainly on SoundCloud and YouTube. They just put all their focus into energy, swag, and melodies. They were seen as a joke, okay? Most people didn't take them seriously, so they didn't see it coming. But over time, these artistic choices would form into a distinctive sound and aesthetic in the underground. And soon enough, with nothing happening in the mainstream, these fresh ideas would begin rapidly gaining traction. By the time 2016 rolled around, SoundCloud artists were blowing up overnight.
Oh my god, Lil Pump. Oh my god. Water.
All of a sudden, hip-hop is cool again, and everyone is talking about it.
I know these old hip hop heads is big.
Oh, like Joe Budden? I know you watching this shit like.
Put up on your bitch, she sucked my dick, and then you kissed the twin.
That's the worst freestyle I ever heard in my life.
Memes, debates, and micro trends are at an all-time high.
I just read about this kid who spent 15 hours saying Gucci Gang.
The new wave is coming, and everyone can feel it too. It's 2016, the year most Gen Zers talk about like it was the last time they felt happiness. And I'm Gen Z. And
I was definitely not happy at this time, but this is like me, 14, 15. Yeah, like I remember all of this stuff going on, to be fair.
they're absolutely right. That shit was just different. I'm sorry. Like you put your Yeezys on, grab your hoverboard, go out in the street, open the Pokemon Go app. You go online and there's like a new Vine trend.
Damn, Daniel. Back at it again with the white bag.
I hate
Damn
this
Daniel,
meme.
Mannequin Challenge,
So
Running
much.
Man, Juju on that beat. No real worries, just Harambe, Killer
Harambe.
Clowns, and 73 and 9 Warriors. Like compare that shit to now, all these new generations have is
6'7", 6'7".
what you know about the dab? Young Buck.
Oh, the
fuck,
dab.
You wish you were Unc. You wish you were Unc. Back into the real world, and things are heating up. As Trump gets elected president, more and more people start feeling a responsibility to stand up and finally say something. At this point in time, the outrage we saw at the start of the decade started becoming more and more frequent. As useless as that sounds, they actually made a difference. The Me Too movement exposed high-profile predators and sent a lot of them to jail. Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, Weinstein, and
Kevin Spacey
all get packed up. It's over with. The internet finally made people answer for their shitty past.
Colin Kaepernick sitting down, he said, to take a stand against the growing number of unarmed black men killed by police and racial injustice in general.
We just got out of a long-term relationship with a very boring but sensible person, and now we're dating a whore.
Thousands of Americans enraged by the man voted into office by millions of other Americans.
Fake hair, she's racist, she's always lying, we don't care!
You don't have an option. You have to stand up, speak up, act up.
On Hollywood's biggest night, it was activism that took center stage.
So I'm hyperventilating a little bit. If I fall over, pick me up because I've got some things to say.
Our voices joining together in a mighty chorus that is finally saying, time's up.
We put up monuments for the feminists. Tell the NRA they in God's way.
As we moved closer to the
What's
end
going
of the
on there?
decade, those who never had a voice increasingly started banding together, and seeing the positive effects their actions could now have, thought to themselves, maybe we can actually do this. Stage 2 occurs when all those people who shared a common idea in Stage 1 start linking up, connecting, and building towards a common goal. The new wave is in full effect and ascending rapidly into
Stage 3. Peak.
Stage 3 marks the peak of the movement's popularity as the average Joe comes to discover what all the fuss is about. The thing, whatever it is, then becomes increasingly commercial and accessible for mass consumption. At this point, your alcoholic uncle will bring up Thing at a family gathering.
The problem they have is that I don't give a fuck. They don't cancel me, I cancel them.
Your parents ask you about Thing. SNL makes an awkward skit on Thing, which will make you slightly uncomfortable and chuckle one time. Hey, who the fuck watches this shit? And even though this seemed like the natural trajectory of both movements, nothing could possibly prepare people for what was about to come.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. We are going to begin right now with breaking news because the World Health Organization has declared the coronavirus outbreak a pandemic.
COVID just hit. Everyone's inside and scared. But I'm not gonna lie, I was happy as fuck. You're telling me I don't have to go to school and I can spend the entire day doom scrolling? Bro, sign me up.
It has to come from the same virus to be in the same family. Viruses come in families. Stop touching niggas with your hands.
This was the era of face masks, Zoom meetings, Among Us sessions, and TikTok videos.
I'm in the house bored in a house and I'm in the house bored.
And to make matters worse, nearly a decade of protests culminated in the explosion that was the murder of George Floyd.
Hands up, don't shoot!
Riots and protests engulfed the entire country for several months, while the issue of social justice became unavoidable and omnipresent.
The Black Lives Matter movement has unleashed a wave of protests against racism worldwide.
If you've exhausted every option of peaceful protest for decades, and the prosecution of police still hasn't changed, what would you do?
Protest is pretty fucking amazing. They seem to be dedicated to change in a way that I can't remember anything like this in my life.
The state of pop culture at this point showed us that racial awareness was mandatory, LGBTQ appreciation was necessary, and that social justice was cool.
I take responsibility.
Oh god, I remember these videos.
I take responsibility.
I take responsibility.
Oh, these videos, I remember these videos. Oh, they just...
I take responsibility for every unchecked moment.
Next, in what is possibly my second favorite story this month, Netflix and Amazon Prime came together to fight homophobia.
Quote, an unnecessary gay character.
Sorry you've yet to realize that every gay person is very necessary.
700,000 likes.
We love gay people too!
God, it's mad. Like, this is 5 years ago. This sort of shit now, people are like, it's not even it's a short amount of time, and not like opinions have changed, but it's sort of like the way pop culture is about this stuff and how like people are about this stuff online and even like on TV stuff and stuff. It's like done a full 180.
And folks, tune into the radio to hear the #1 song in the country, Montero.
I've never seen this video before.
Lil Nas is gay. Oh, let me stop. Bro, what? I gotta edit that out. Okay, Dad, you look like you homophobic. No, I'm not homophobic.
Girl boss main leads dominated TV.
I belong to no one.
I don't even know what this is.
I identify as non-binary.
There's a really long history of black people not being treated fairly in this country. It has to stop.
Quinn was that on Arthur? Damn, I've not seen Arthur for years.
Has gender dysphoria. Her assigned gender is not one she identifies with.
I will no longer allow an unchecked woman. I will no longer allow racist, hurtful words, jokes, stereotypes, no matter how big or small, to be uttered in my presence.
Moral purity became everything. Okay, how much do you care? How good of a person are you?
But everyone would have it, but then like they would sort of post these videos, but then would they actually really care that much? I feel like a lot of it was just performative.
Were the main questions of the COVID era. At the same time that social justice issues were reaching,
did people just get bored during COVID and just think, let's just do something?
Their zenith, hip-hop was also peaking. Coasting off the momentum of the SoundCloud wave, the entire genre had embraced the homogenous trap aesthetic, but not without reason. I mean, it worked, and it didn't stop working. It was the sound of pop charts and pop culture. Every commercial had a trap beat in the background. Labels started mass producing industry plans to capitalize on the gold mine that mainstream rap had become. Nav was selling 130K first week. What are we talking about? At this point, hip-hop was the biggest genre of music in the world, becoming bigger than it had ever been. Even larger-than-life pop stars were desperate to jump on the wave. Ariana Grande had a whole era where she just spray painted her skin brown.
I'm like, bitch, that's my cookie, that's my juice, okay? Carry on.
Talked straight.
Ariana Grande is one of those people that she just confuses me.
This is the Mac I'm here to talk about today, girl. Come on. Kill me, get your ass in here. Come on, girl.
This is actually real. Like, her fans call it the Blackiana era. In just a couple of years' time, both of these movements had managed to conquer the world. And now, having been rewarded with great success, the founders are no longer focused on innovating. Instead, their primary goal is to maintain their status, polishing the ideas that had worked so well for them in the past.
The Fat King. Eh?
Meet Drake. It's the end of 2021 and he's the biggest rapper in the world. Larger than life and in complete control of hip-hop. It hadn't always been this way though. Once upon a time, he was just an awkward, geeky kid who stuck out like a sore thumb amongst his rapper peers.
I just want to make music that people enjoy, you know?
While on radio, young Drake might have been a rising star and hitmaker, amongst the hip-hop community, he was a laughing stock.
I don't like anything about Drake. Mom, I don't like his voice. I don't like what he talks about. I be trying to tell his face. I don't like the way he walks, like nothing. I don't like his haircut.
An emotional pussy who talked about women and feelings too much.
He's so emotional, man. When did rap become that? He'll just make a song that's just like, oh, I'm crying.
From that point on, Drake did everything in his power to dominate the rap game, secretly hoping he could change the mind of all those bullies who didn't let him in at the start of the decade. It took a lot of work, a lot of dedication, and a lot of great music. Fast forward to 2021, and Drake had gotten exactly what he was asking for. His vulnerable and emotional approach had completely changed the foundation of the rap game, and was finally accepted as normal. Drake was now not only the undisputed king of the biggest music genre in the world, but also well respected in almost every corner of its culture, even managing to convince some of his street credibility. Aubrey didn't want to change things anymore. Aubrey wanted things to stay the same. Nothing lasts forever. People always seem to forget that. Where there once was a purpose, now isn't anymore. People get cocky, arrogant, and start abusing their power just because they can.
Honestly, if you guys want to look in my eyes, you guys want to do something? That's what I thought. No, that's what I thought.
In a figurative sense, this is the point where the victim becomes the bully, perpetuating the cycle of abuse that was responsible for the start of the movement in the first place.
I have to come to the conclusion that inherently, I Show Speed is just a piece of shit. I don't see any way someone like this can turn around and redeem themselves and be able to make up for all the disgusting shit that they've done.
How are they trying to cancel a 17-year-old? Like, what the fuck?
And said and influenced for people.
As a guy with a platform, I can't imagine posting anything like that.
Bankrupt them, put them out of business, deplatform them, like actually take them out financially.
They feel untouchable and unbeatable, convinced that their run will last forever.
I want nothing to do with you, and I won't think twice about it, because you're not worth keeping around.
This exact moment marks the beginning of the end.
Here we go.
And now, we take a short break from our program to learn the art of performative progressivism.
Screw in the bag.
Brought
Love
to you
that.
by Mint Mobile.
Give them money.
This is where we are, canceling food. Last week they canceled Uncle Ben's rice. No beans, no rice. Trump doesn't even need to build a wall.
We're now beginning week 2 of the left's all-out attack on
Joe Rogan.
The liberal mom's lashing out at Euphoria star Sydney Sweeney, calling her racist after she posted photos from her mom's 60th birthday party.
As we started getting deeper into the 20s, the dominance of wokeness in the mainstream and the aggressive tactics it used in eliminating its detractors sparked massive outrage on the other side of the political aisle. There was a growing rage from those who felt left out and ironically oppressed in popular culture. Zuckerberg became a red pill frat bro at 40 years old. Elon Musk buying X and making it a safe haven for the ostracized and the canceled.
Like wokeness basically wants to make comedy illegal, which is not cool.
Podcasts become the home of anti-wokeness, with most comedians pulling in millions of views while professing their hate for the social justice movement. Along with them, their audience started rapidly.
Yeah, see, people like Tate going, I don't really understand how he got. I guess it's just people on the opposite end of the spectrum, right? Just being like, fuck it, we'll support someone like this. But he is one messed up person.
Moving in the opposite direction. They too would be canceled and deplatformed, but the sentiment still didn't go away. Woke culture now had an enemy, which was climbing rapidly up the ranks. Things slowly start to get ugly as Stage 4 unravels.
I really think this is Drake's lowest point yet in terms of level of effort. He really put almost nothing into this record.
People get fat, washed up, and lazy, completely losing their ability to stick together, innovate, or adapt to any new obstacles. At this point, the movement becomes so normalized in the mainstream that it loses its ability to challenge. The once fresh and lively cultural movement is reduced to a cheap trend, an emblem to be worn rather than a piece of resistance that demands reflection and action. The social justice movement went from rallying people towards a common goal to pointless exercises of power over celebrities and athletes who didn't pass the moral purity test. The moral standards would only go higher and higher as time went by, until even the people inside the movement couldn't live up to them.
That's what I'm saying.
At that point, the focus turned inward, and the progressive sphere started.
The expectations are so high of people, and it's like, okay, well, obviously, maybe there's definitely some people that have done horrible shit that should, I guess, be cancelled. Like, there's obviously some horrendous people out there, but they were literally, again, back to Speed. He's a 17-year-old. I don't even know what it was for. He probably said something on this live stream before. That was maybe a bit over the top, and they were trying to cancel a 17-year-old for that. Like, there's so many situations like that where you're like, what are you doing? Like, you're a grown man getting angry at a kid at that point for saying something maybe a bit outlandish on a stream.
Devouring itself from the inside out.
Word to my mother, I really got the Joe Biden pinatas on deck.
People moved past COVID like it never happened and went right back outside. Y2K aesthetic dominates everything. Baggy pants are back in style. It's a new day where virality is more important than ever. Streamers have become the new celebrities. Yego's DEFCON 3.
You can't say out loud that this person ever did anything good, and I'm done with that.
Barbenheimer. Hip-hop is rapidly falling off both in quality and popularity. Nobody knows what to do. How do you stop Stage 4 from happening? Well, the answer is simple. You don't. There's really only one thing you can do at this point. Speed up the inevitable.
The revolution.
For most rap fans, Kendrick Lamar was always everything Drake couldn't be. He was hailed as hip-hop's golden child right at the start of his mainstream run, quickly becoming the critic and fan favorite.
This is good hip-hop. This is positive hip-hop. This is the kind of hip-hop that we need, that's commenting on social issues.
It was the one section of the audience Drake could never win over, despite trying his hardest. See, unlike Aubrey, Kendrick's main strength wasn't getting on the radio. It was creating meticulous masterpieces, timeless bodies of work which set him apart from the rest of the rap game. He was the one people counted on to lead hip-hop into a brighter tomorrow. Even as the SoundCloud wave hit and melodic trap took over, he adapted, wrestling with Drake for the throne of hip-hop well into the 2010s. But then, he disappeared, and that allowed Drake to take the reins and lead the way as hip-hop's #1. Fast forward to 2023 and Drake is scoring his 14th #1 album while the genre is in a free fall, deteriorating into a dark pit of pathetic gimmicks and desperate trend chasers. Fans were increasingly unhappy, but the mainstream was still eating it up. Truthfully, this corrosive climate suited Drake. As the biggest rapper in the world and a notorious trend chaser himself, he stood only to gain from the lack of quality and depth the average listener had become accustomed to. Things couldn't go on this way. Something had to be done, and the Golden Child knew exactly what that was.
The king is back! Oh shit! He's rapping!
Motherfuck the big three. Nigga, it's just big me. Nigga, bum.
Seriously, Kendrick? Wow.
It's a lot of goofies with a check.
Kendrick's the best. Kendrick's the best rapper. Kendrick is I've always said Kendrick's my favorite.
Bully, I hate bullies. You must be a terrible person. Everyone inside your team is whispering that you deserve it.
I'm literally uploading Drake's diss right now. How do you have a response up before this even uploaded?
Kendrick, relax!
Hey, he going crazy.
Kendrick,
right now.
chill!
And we gotta raise our daughters knowing there's predators like him lurking. Fuck that.
Can't remember this one.
Wait, I can't take this. It's just too much.
A rebellion, an uprising led to one of the biggest cultural events of the 2020s.
Drake, I hear you like I'm young. You better not ever go to Cell Block 1.
A rap battle in which Kendrick Lamar destroyed Drake, slaying the flag bearer of late-stage commercial trap, and finally saying what the culture was feeling out loud. Enough with the hollow, lazy, and unoriginal. We need music that's creative, deep, and inspired. Everybody had their fun, but now the party is over, and it's time for something real.
If you say you're voting,
I'm trying to understand that. How does this sort of correlate with society and culture? I guess it kind of is linked, but I don't know. I feel like there's sort of two separate things, like the music and then the actual culture. They go hand in hand to a point, but I don't know how these specific things go hand in hand.
for Trump, suddenly you're a Nazi, you're Hitler, you're garbage. Enough.
They just want no Trump, no matter what, and they're willing to gaslight themselves.
Hey, so remember all those anti-woke guys from earlier in the video? Yeah, they didn't go away. As a matter of fact, they only multiplied and grew stronger as the public sentiment shifted further and further away from social progressivism. It wasn't just a fleeting feeling. It was a burning hatred towards the status quo that required drastic change. A fire had been started, and no one was putting it out.
It is now official. CNN projects that Donald Trump has been elected president, defeating Vice President Kamala Harris and making a political comeback unlike any.
47th president of the United States.
The former president's comeback.
I am going to admit I am a little surprised that they won so much.
It was finally official. We were now in
Stage 5.
And that's it. Here we are. It was just announced that for the first time in 35 years, hip-hop spent an entire week without a single song in the top 40 of the charts. The biggest rap releases of the year have all flopped diabolically, and even the average Joes are bored at this point.
Rap is cool and all, but it's getting outplayed, bro. It talk about hoes, money.
It's the same topics like every single
17
time.
bodies last night. Them all in the head. Ain't nobody catching.
Okay, I hope you get caught soon, my brother.
We know that your body's T. We know that you have good poom poom. We know that you
Stop playing rap for the most part, and honestly, I've come to realize it's probably the worst genre there is. Like our
Stage 5 is where the movement becomes culturally irrelevant and a complete non-factor in the mainstream. Those from the movement may still try to recapture an old flame, a moment that got lost in time, but the people have already moved on. The old moves don't work anymore, the shots aren't falling, and the crowd is as quiet as a church mouse. The power has been completely stripped from its previous holders and put into the hands of people who were made to feel silenced, mocked, and left out before. The culture is theirs to shape now.
The liberal mob's lashing out at Euphoria star Sydney Sweeney, calling her racist after she posted photos from her mom's 60th birthday.
Was this to do with her wearing the jeans? No, what was the one with her wearing the blue jeans? Why do people get so angry about that? I just saw it. I was just like, what? I'm not going to even look into this. I just don't understand why people got so pissed off at her for wearing blue jeans. And then she said something that people like, why would she say that? And then there was like stuff before of someone else doing the same thing and no one was outraged by it.
My jeans are blue.
This.
Sydney Sweeney has great jeans.
People got angry about that because it's to do with jeans or whatever. And then there was literally someone else who done it like years prior and no one cared about it. And I just didn't really understand it. I was like, at this point, I'm just not even going to look into this because I just can't be bothered to see it. This is like brain rot, political brain rot to me. This sort of stuff.
White people shouldn't joke about genetic superiority. Since you are talking about this, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about that specifically.
I think that when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear.
Miss Tan, genetics. I just got my color analysis back.
There is a cultural shift.
Oh, damn. So then they started sort of doing more stuff like this after the outrage sort of was clowned to a point. Because I think people realised, wait, why are we getting outraged at these kind of things? And I assume then they took that as, oh, we can actually just do more of this kind of stuff.
In the US, we're seeing a move away, even in these commercials that are so typically woke.
The zeitgeist showed it wasn't cool to be progressive or liberal.
When you're walking down the street late at night, guess what you're looking for? Black people. And you equate that with danger.
Another human I would just deport immediately.
We are just so
I don't know who that guy is, but I always see him.
unbelievably fed up with the ghetto ratchet behavior, entitlement, the victimhood.
Platforms no longer care about political correctness. Corporations no longer celebrate Pride Month.
Google, no change. IBM, no change. Microsoft, no change.
Or any month, for that matter. It's like they never cared about anything. Wow. Interesting.
Even Starbucks roached out on the gays?
Country is taken over as the most popular genre of music.
You have been the light of the day. You are such a gift.
You brought such light.
Look around you. Everything is a byproduct of what came before it. The overbearing need for social responsibility and pure morals of years past has now been replaced by a culture ready to eat up whatever seems authentic, no matter how shitty at its core. When something feels too clean, people crave mess. When everything's ironic,
Lil Nas, was that for a video? Why was he in prison?
Sincerity starts to look rebellious. Every era gives us ideas and moments that change the world as we know it. Then we move on. The social justice movement didn't vanish, it dissolved. It was absorbed into the culture. The language changed, the expectations changed, and the boundaries moved. And once that happens, it stops feeling like a movement at all and just becomes the new normal. The past decade of hip-hop has been liberating. The genre doesn't take itself nearly as seriously anymore. The gender norms have been broken, and artists are free to bend their voices, their images, and their identities however they want. The demand for change has been met. The movement has served its purpose. Death is inevitable. Death is healthy. Nothing, no sound, no movement, no era can or should stay mainstream forever. Now that the people have made their money and the vultures have moved on, it's time for a reset. It's time to go back underground and come up with something new. The Kendrick-Drake beef wasn't just a rap moment. It was a reminder. Culture changes when someone chooses to change it. When people stand up and decide the old rules don't apply anymore. Every era ends the same way, with a spark, a fracture, a moment no one saw coming. And maybe, just maybe, we're closer to that moment than we think.
Pretty cool video. I enjoyed this a lot. I feel like I learned a lot of things that I didn't even know about either. But yeah, seeing how things have changed in such a short amount of time is pretty fascinating. I like how Ariana Grande is literally a litmus test for what's culturally acceptable. Still convinced that Harami's murder shifted us into some alternate timeline. This had to be Bro's film school final because this is amazing. The realization that 99% of people don't actually believe in anything or just shift to what's trendy at the moment for profit and acceptance. Yeah, it's fair. People just do what's popular, don't they? No serious person takes voting advice from celebrities. They're not living in the same world as the rest of us. Social media is cancer. Seeing the shift of Andrew Schultz and Joe Rogan from BLM era to present day is just crazy. We need a mass refresh. Yeah, it's interesting. This dude grew up in the suburbs. 2016. You out your Yeezys on. Grab your hoverboard. Yeah, I wish. Yeah, maybe not. Definitely wasn't me. 2016, I was not living like that, to be fair. But yeah, this is an interesting video. Let me know your thoughts. Things definitely have changed, but I guess there's more to it than just this. But maybe it just got sort of so extreme in one way. People like, you know, we want to push off completely in the other way. I guess that's just sort of how humans are. They like to sort of to like, I don't know, like if something gets so extreme, they then also want to make something else extreme. You know, they're just pushing opposite ways, and it's, I guess, just a massive divide now where there's just people in the middle who just probably don't really care as much. But yeah, this is an interesting look into it. I find it interesting how he was constantly like linking like rap music or hip hop to the culture. But I guess it's more interlinked than I realised. But let me know your thoughts, and until next time, like, subscribe. Peace.